Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. I'm Vikova, you can call me V, and today we're going to be playing more Roadwarden after a week off, which I hate having a week off because I want to know what happens next, and it's been too long and I've probably forgotten even more than normal, but you know, it'll be okay. Yes, hello to Rowan, to Daveface, to Calmly Enveloped, to Jabal, and to the Ninetale system. Hi, Tirana. It is lovely to have you all here today. So, the phrase soul carrier describes any shell inhabited by a soul, including humans, spirits, and the right themselves. Soul carrier, okay, interesting. Jabal says, I was chatting with Orr on the forum yesterday. That's the creator of Roadwarden. And he was saying how surprised he's been that some people stream and do videos with Roadwarden. He'd always assumed it just wouldn't be a possible thing given how text heavy it is. Oh, really? I bet other people are streaming it too. It's so good. You know, yeah, Dave says, I think most people enjoy being read to. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of just like a bit of casual, very casual narration, I guess. I love streaming this. I've been streaming this for so many weeks now. We will never finish this game, but because it keeps getting bigger. Acthrace, hello, welcome. All right, let's continue the game. Where are we right now? Oh, I'm on my way to the, I'm at the bandit camp. I'm at the bandit camp. I found the bandits in the heart of the woods. I'd completely forgotten. Oh, okay. So we've traveled through dangerous forests at the heart of the forest in order to find the bandit camps, which people have very mixed reviews of. Some people are saying that they're terrible, that they've been raiding, but some people have said, you know, they're fine, don't worry about them. So this is interesting. Jabal says, welcome to Banditville, population U. I hope there's more people here. Oh yeah, we went past that. There was a fake spider, like a dead spider body that had been propped up in the trees to scare people away. This is wild. The path is beaten, yet your mount has to step over branches, large rocks, and even animal bones. While the trees aren't pruned, they grow sparse enough for you to have a good view of your surroundings. A pile of rotting logs, the remains of food, and even a broken wagon rest at the feet of the crag. You look up. The palisade has a massive gap in it, which now serves as a vantage point for a person you can't see clearly. Ooh. They're holding an arrow on their strung bow, and while they aren't aiming at you, they'd have enough time to shoot before you got off the saddle. You've a horse, the masculine voice announces loudly, then stares at you. Thought a mad deer was running, I did. Almost shot it in the nose. Another pause. Who? I shout back, Strider, a Roadwarden. This is so exciting. Calmly says you approach the bandit camps, a mixture of bluegrass and heavy metal wafts over to you. The archer crouches, as if watching you from 2 feet closer is going to make a difference. He shouts, but more so towards someone behind the wall. Wait, another Roadwarden? Sure do look like you rode through 10 swamps. Head up, but I've got my eye on you, I do. The hamlet could be a generation old, and while the freshly beaten paths spread trash and newly fallen trees and gathered rocks make it clear that the dwellers are still altering their surroundings, the woods around you are filled with wildlife, crowding in the tree crowns, grasses, and trunks. A boar flees up the path, keeping its eyes on you as it runs. A dragonling is drinking from the pond you just rode by. There are a few people gathered at the gate, and more of them approach you from behind. You count 8 of them in total, with only one female face among them. All are younger than 40, with weapons at their sides or in their hands, simple flails, 2-handed axes on long hafts, maces, spears, throwing clubs. Equipment so heavy and unwieldy that you can't be sure if it's meant to threaten you, or to get through the skin of nearby monsters if necessary. Some of those who came through the open gate have bare chests displaying their scars and bandages, but the others are wearing heavy jackets and look nothing like pure farmers seeking shelter for a night. They observe your mount in silence, together with the curious rooks sitting on top of the wall. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. Let's see. I dismount smoothly and stand upright, then give everyone a threatening glance? No way. That's not how we operate here. I get down slowly, then keep my open hands in the air. Yeah, we're friendly. One of the strangers nods in approval while another gestures for you to step away from your mount, making sure you're not hiding anything. All right, leave here, every blade. Tie the beast somewhere. He points his thumb behind him, leading your eyes to a loose stake of the palisade. Glaucia's on her way, he adds matter-of-factly, as if to a regular waiting for an alehouse keeper. You follow his commands, wading with the dwellers in silence. From afar, you hear the heavy footfalls of the person who joins you soon after. Her massive winter boots are made of leather that still remembers the garnet dye of the past and have wide and firm heels. The bronze of the decorative buckles is polished, without a hint of green. Her emerald eyes are running over your mount and equipment, reaching your face last and with little curiosity. She's broad-shouldered, with a muscular figure and round face. Her long, shining mail rests on a green accaton, making noise with every movement of her arms. Her right hand is tapping the hilt of the sickle sword, a broad blade meant for chopping not just flesh but also twigs, sheathed at her side. The short, dark hair of a fighter is carefully cut, and her skin is healthily tanned. It takes another few breaths for you to notice the other side of her appearance. While she's wider than anyone in sight, she's more than a head shorter than you. You spot the grey strands of her hair, and wrinkles cut by scars on her cheeks and lips. Her hand is missing a thumb, explaining why the blade is on her right side, and an old bruise surrounding her left eye hinders her from fully opening it, so it's difficult for you to match her gaze. Oh, she's so cool! Okay. Dave says, now wave those hands like you just don't care. 9 says, we are bandits, we don't have law here. Why not? Bandit? Oh my gosh. She must be quite a fighter. Yeah. She seems so cool. Okay. A palfrey this time. Her confident, powerful voice matches her straight posture. She reaches for the bottom of Shadowfax's neck, slowly, allowing it to accept the touch after a moment of hesitation. It's more for running than combat, I believe. The Saurian was dangerous, but slower, without much stamina. You look for a reason why she would lecture you about your own trade, then notice the curious eyes of her band listening to every word. It may be the first horse they've ever seen. Oh, she's educating them. Stranger. She looks at you again and steps back. I heard about your arrival to the peninsula, but didn't expect we'd see you at our doorstep. We don't have much to discuss. Tell me you ain't stupid enough to provoke my hand. No, I would never. Alright, we're having approach here, everyone. I see no reason why we can't have a friendly conversation. Truth, friendly option, always good. 9 says Strider. Hi, I'm the Roadwarden. Let's be friends. Bandits. Horse? Yes, absolutely. Playful. And I'm surprised to see you're open to having a talk with a Roadwarden. Life gets funny sometimes. That's okay. Distanced, I have a few questions for you. And no, I don't like that. Intimidating. I don't provoke. I either cut or I don't. For now, let's have a talk. No, I will never choose intimidating. It's always garbage. Vulnerable. Trust me, I'm far from being a threat. Just let me ask you a few questions and I'm out of your sight. I'm okay with that, but I don't know. I feel like maybe I don't want to project too much vulnerability in this moment. I don't know if anyone else ever has this, but I'm too vulnerable IRL around people all the time. This will not surprise you about me. And sometimes it genuinely does cause people to be aggressive. Like, they sense weakness and then get mean. And then they get real mad when I actually defend myself. I don't know, people aren't just nice. I'm like, let's be vulnerable and become people who know each other. And they're like, I'll hurt you for that. Wild. 9 says, in the RPG Tyranny, it is almost always an option in dialogue to glare silently. I feel like this is an option that would greatly improve Roadwarden. It would be good for being the kind of intimidating Roadwarden that I'm not, for sure. Glare silently. Let's be friendly. I see no reason we can't have a friendly conversation. Oh no. A mistake. A mistake. Sario, hello. Alquil, hi. Jabal says, well, I don't think we should be pushy right here and now. Remember that we have a relationship between the bandits and the White Marshes to think about. We won't necessarily get a peaceful way to get to the Necromancer if we don't manage to find a way to weaken her band for Thyrsus. Ooh. This game is hard. Rowan says you need the Witcher option of Her voice grows colder. I see plenty. For all I know, you're yet another city spy. If I were to learn you're here more to hinder our work, she pauses, and to fight beasts, I'd have a light heart letting you bleed your neck out right where you are. You look to your left and right. No matter how many hours of training you have behind you, the sheer number of opponents would overwhelm you. But let us leave the threats for later. Take a stroll with me. I ain't missing a chance to enjoy the rest of the summer. She heads north, and before you decide what to do next, someone pushes you forward with the blunt edge of a spear. I guess I go north then. This is not looking great, but maybe she's just being mean in front of the bandits. We can wear her down. The neglected path leads to a pond, through the rocks sticking out of the ground, fallen branches, and the rotten deck covering a wide puddle. There are some signs of repairs made on the bridge for fishers, but there are also some broken logs and a boat with a large hole in its hull. Glaucia and 2 of her guards walk with you in silence, surrounded by the screeching beasts around and above you. She takes leisurely strides, and as you step onto the bridge, looking across the pond, you can see that the woods surround it from all sides like the walls of a dungeon chamber, with green and grey saurians basking both on the banks and in the shallow water. The frogs, flies, and blackbirds shatter any guise of peace. The wood beneath you is slippery. Whenever the woman makes a sudden movement, you flinch, preparing your shell to push her away. Don't have any doubts, she speaks calmly, looking in the distance. I have little trust to offer you, and even less patience. It's better that we meet this way instead of on the road. She turns toward you, and moves her hand behind her back. But if you have no good reason to talk to me, you can scout right away. This land needs no soldiers, Roadwarden, and chiefly no city folk. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, it is true, I value Thyrsus's friendship very highly, and I would like Thyrsus to take over White Marshes, but I don't know. I don't know how to accomplish that, and I'm going to keep being nice to everyone. I could use your knowledge to help people. I'm sure you know these woods well. There are some who could use another hand, I'll agree, but there are also those who deserve nothing better than to be thrown into an elk pit. If you want my help, make me believe you can tell them apart. Well, I'm probably not throwing anyone into an elk pit, but definitely I've met some shitty people in this game. Without another word, she leads you back, then through the gate. The old, rotting roof of the only building is starting to bend under its own weight, but its condition is only slightly worse than that of the area around it. The broken tools, soggy planks and logs, the broken fence of an animal pen, and the waist-high nettle leaves growing on every scrap of ground that's not been beaten down by boots. The hamlet smells of putridity. The screeching of animals isn't as overwhelming here, but unlike in the other settlements, there's hardly any labor to fill the emptiness. The bandits either follow you or sit around idly. There's firewood gathered by the wall, and you see someone eating a piece of cold roasted meat, but it seems like no one is eager to grab a hammer or a needle or a carving knife. Glaucia doesn't stop, making you follow her around the long shelter. She keeps her eyes straight ahead, not commenting on anything you walk by. With every step, her mail jangles slightly, breaking the silence. Your eyes either wander around or stare at the back of her head. Interesting. I mean, they are obviously not... This is not a settlement of people that are just trying to live off of the land. They're living somewhere inaccessible so that they cannot be retaliated against when they steal from and harm other people. And let's not forget, someone with arrows ambushed people and took them to Gale Rocks, right? We saw that at the ambush site. And it was probably these bandits. I don't think that these are good people. Jabal says, I mean, I agree with Glaucia's words up front, but also I'm not sure I take this land needs no shoulders quite the same way as I would mean it when it's coming from someone who waves pointy objects at people to take their stuff. Yes, exactly. I don't think... This is not a struggling settlement of people. Some people turn to banditry because they have no other option or whatever, but these are people from Gale Rocks. As far as I know, there's no reason why they couldn't stay in Gale Rocks, but instead they're choosing to raid the other villages. Nine says it's interesting that someone went to the trouble of building this longhouse and the stockade, but that no one is now maintaining them. Makes me wonder who was here before Glaucia's ban. Right, they probably didn't build this, did they? They probably took it. There's stuff going on. The abandoned cart. I really want to ask about that abandoned cart. Hang on. Let's learn more about her to begin with. I'd like to learn more about you. She doesn't even stop. Hire yourself a bard, she growls. She doesn't trust me enough to tattle about herself. I don't want her to tattle. Can you tell me anything about the undead in the north? Her armor clinks so loudly that a nearby rook flutters its wings, dashing to the wall. They are around. She meets your eyes, tapping the hilt of her sword. Why'd you ask? Need to be dealt with? I wonder if you see them as a threat. Her eyes are filled with fury. What do you think? Those fuckers at White Marshes wake up more shells with every season, no matter where they find them. Deep woods, the swamps, their own beds. If they could. Her hand soars toward your neck, causing you to step away. She stops herself before reaching you, but makes a gesture suggesting a blade making a cut. They would kill us all in our sleep. She strides away and you try to catch up. After a pause, she raises her voice. Shame on the villagers that let them do so. May the right drown them all. So, are you on a holy crusade against the undead? Is that why you're targeting them? Those people are regular people, many of them not very happy with the situation. They're just trying to survive. We've been there. Sunday Luna, hello! Yes, Comley's quite correct. I do prefer to be V. Alright. Foggy mentioned some dark days pushed you into becoming a bandit. Foggy, my good friend Foggy. If I mentioned, I'm just going to name drop Foggy, my good friend Foggy. More of them than you can count. Or did you think people leave their warm homes to pick easy coins? We have survivors from the long-gone villages of Steep House. You have Steep House survivors? A lad forced into marriage by some old pricks with long beards, a cooper whose daughter poisoned herself with a daffodil pie, a hunter whose home was lost to a fire, a shepherd who took an oath to clean these woods of wolves, a hungry thief who chose to run away instead of losing their arm. The guards are now more numerous. Some of them look down, casting you shameful glances, while others meet your eyes, keeping their backs straight. We were all wronged by this land, Glaucia carries on, and as her steps grow springy, her mail becomes annoyingly loud. And our work will give us our pride back. Have you ever met Cassia from Gale Rocks? She sends an angry look toward a surprised rook. That good for nothing? Why, is she offering you a job? After you mention that you just try to learn more about her character, she walks in silence for a good minute. Let's merely say I'm not convinced she's capable of keeping her word, even though she promises a lot and loudly so. Yeah, I also got that impression, but neither of them seem any good. Jabal says my immediate reaction to Glaucia's hire yourself a bard comment was, hey, don't I count? And then only then I remembered I'm not actually present in this narrative. Conley says, I hate annoyingly loud mail, it's so big. Nine says this is starting to feel a bit culty. It does have a little bit of, like, I feel for them being in this situation, but it's like, your homes were destroyed, you needed to do something, and you chose to prey on other people. And also, you have like you feel like you have a holy reason to fight undead. It's straight. I have sympathy, but also, like, there's definitely red flags here. I agree with Tirana there. You may want to stay away from old Pagos, who's been struggling with a plague. She glances at you with her unmarked eyebrow raised, making the difference between the sizes of her eyes even more jarring. You think I don't know what's happening in my land? I don't need your rumours. Your land? I found an abandoned cart on the Eastern Trail. She keeps her pace, forcing you to stare at her hair, and steps outside the gate, looking around. What do you think about that? I think you found it, indeed. She walks down the slope, speaking slowly as she takes careful steps. And whoever used to own it, they have vanished in the fogs, they did. Yeah, I mean, that was you. I followed the trail leading from the abandoned cart, and here I am. I mean, it's true. Let's not... I think clicking that might make... I mean, I should probably do it, but I think she's gonna attack me. Let's try some of the other stuff first. Oh... Jabal says I would 100% sign up to be Strider, the Roadwarden's bard, companion, hype man. We just travel around making friends and playing music. Nice, and there was much rejoicing. You made Yason quite worried with your recent moves. She slows down. The two of you approach the old animal pen, though right now it's inhabited only by rooks and worms. She leans against the soggy fence, which moans in protest. Her emerald eyes don't hide her surprise or perfectly imitate it. I suppose I should have expected Yason's bore eyes on me. What does he want you to get from me exactly? To learn what you're trying to achieve, are you planning to attack his hunters? It takes her an unusually long time to answer. All right, tell him this, stranger. Don't sweat. The right leads my blade in dreams against the necromancers of white marshes. Also, bed with an ibex. Yeah, this is... I don't like Glaucia. There is big zealot energy here. Nine says that the bard song is talk is making me wonder if he's played Wonder Song. I had it on my wish list for a while, Wonder Song. I haven't played it. Nine says, okay, we're now beyond a bit and into very culty. We're definitely into very culty territory. I completely am with you there. Trying to find out what happened to Asterion. She doesn't spare you a glance. So? Can you help me? Why would I? She doesn't wait for your answer. I need nothing that you could fit in your saddles. Do me a few favours and we'll see. I don't know if I want to do you any favours. I'm always helping everyone. I guess I could see what you want me to do. There are some who are convinced you had something to do with Asterion's disappearance. She stops in place and her heavy hand rests on your shoulder, pulling you down. You catch the weak scent of a myrtle, a flower that grows in warmer lands, and is often delivered by ships to Hovlaven. A bit like a sour fruit, a bit like mint. And who are those some? You notice that two of her front teeth are missing. I'm not telling on Ela. Ela's my friend. You suck. I just smile. She waits for a few more breaths, piercing you through with her emerald eyes, then pushes you away and continues her walk. Let them talk. People will ascribe to me every misdeed or bad dream they have, but I have no Roadwarden in my stew. Yet. Oh, I don't like you. Have you heard anything about High Island? Stop bothering me with this nonsense. Her response is as quick as a whip. I ain't got a reason to guide you around. If you want me to help you find Asterion, be useful. Why do you target white marshes? And why don't you? She just turns just her head, giving you an annoyed glance. What good is a Roadwarden for if there are armies of awoken shells right under their nose? Let me understand the situation better so I can do something about it. The brow over her healthy eye furrows with her frown. Are you that blind? There are necromancers in our land. What else is there to tell? These spells have been forbidden since the days before the 10 cities, and the way the settlements are looking away, their laziness, her tone is full of disgust. The separation from all of them rights written on our souls by the right. It lets the beast devour the last shreds of what we as humans deserve. She ambles forward without looking at you. I have nothing to gain from telling you some stories. Fight for what's right or fall with all the others. With all the others! Ooh. I don't think you're very nice. I followed the trail and here I am. I'm gonna say it. She freezes and turns around slowly, scowling at you. You notice how the slow twist of her wrist makes one of the guards step back, hiding his already drawn blade. I ain't going to explain myself to you. We needed tools and wares to sell, so we took them. The merchants are back in their homes with their skin untouched and togs on their backs. They knew the risk and took it. You flinch when she reaches for your shoulder, but someone is already behind you, keeping you in her range. Her strong hand squeezes your flesh. Do we have a problem here? I shake my head slowly. I needed to know the truth, that's all. You needed, did you? You sigh with relief when she releases your shoulder, but then her strong fingers start to pat the front of your neck. And I need you to know your place. Her hand forms a fist and hits your chest gently. Don't be a kid. Some questions are better left unanswered. Well, you did answer, though, is the thing. Her emerald eyes weigh on you heavier than her touch. She walks away slowly, gesturing for you to follow. What else? I don't really want to help you. I think this is a bit like the priests of the right. I don't think this woman is dangerous, but I will see what she needs. Do you need assistance? She stops in place, then gestures at a soggy bench. Both of you sit down, but your eyes don't meet. Instead, you observe the dark birds that are pushing and pecking each other over old gruel spread among the nettles. And why would a Roadwarden want to help me? I smile. We all need friends, don't we? I'm gonna say it. I couldn't not say it. It was too in character. I know she's been punishing friendliness, but she takes a few heartbeats to respond. No, what I have is a family. She glances at the men who observe you from a distance. And I trust them more than I would any stranger. She leans back and looks at the clouds. But you can do some small things for me and not for free. One of my lads has abandoned his post and had taken something very valuable to me. He wants to start his life anew, so he won't use his name, but you'll recognise him. Speaks like someone from my village, he does. While her tone is sarcastic, her eyes remain serious. No! That's the man we met! That's the man we met! I am not betraying him. While her tone is sarcastic, her eyes remain serious. Young, strong, with a pretty face and blue eyes of a beaten cub. Shaves often. The last tog he had on his back was our black gambison, matching his short hair, but if he has any wits, he sold it somewhere already. When she crosses one leg with the other, her mail clinks so loudly it makes you flinch. She reaches for her boot, adjusting it with her broad fingers. He doesn't want to be found, but he may need a Roadwarden's help. If so, merely tell me where he hides, and I will find him, all right? We've met this bandit. Well, we met a man with blue eyes running away. We did meet him. We had him rest in the spider's house. And we met a former bandit at Jason's, and I am not telling you. It was a bandit at Jason. I am not telling you. He doesn't want to be found, but he may need a Roadwarden's help. If so, merely tell me where he hides, and I will find him, all right? She straightens up and rises to her feet, as if the conversation reached its conclusion. I'll drop a few coins for trouble. 4, maybe? Or I can give you a handful of arrows for a crossbow. I don't need them, really. I want to lie. I think I might. What did he take from you? A small supply of black powder I was saving for a special occasion, for one thing. Be ready to forgive him, but betraying my trust and taking our secrets outside is beyond excuses. Why did he leave? She thinks about it for a few heartbeats. He's weak, she states, but after seeing your frown, she puts hands behind her back. He joined us not that long ago. He didn't have any drive, was merely bored with his old life, but was good enough with his knives to impress me. Turns out he wasn't ready for the change he took upon himself, and he left before he paid his debt to me. What will you do with him once you find him? She frowns, narrowing her healthy eye, as if it's too obvious to be worthy of an answer. What he deserves. Look, do we all agree? Should I lie, or should I just say I'll tell her and never tell her? If the lie will work, I would want to say it so that this kid can, like, live his life. But I don't know. Oh yeah, she's obviously going to murder the guy. I am not giving this guy up. The question is, do I lie to her about him being dead, or do I just pretend I lie more indirectly, and I'm like, oh, I'll let you know, and I never return, which is my plan at the moment. Even her quest to gain her trust is awful. I am not working with this woman. Rowan says go for the lie. I'm leaning towards going for the lie. I want this person to be free. We spoke to him, and he said, you know, he was a bandit, but he doesn't want to be anymore, and can't people change? And I think that's completely fair. It sounds like he didn't want to do any banditry. I think we gotta lie. I'm just worried that she will know I'm lying. What if I save? A little save? I'm going for the lie. I found a shell in the woods that matches the description you gave me, mauled to death by beasts. And you're sure I won't find him prowling around? It would make me very angry, it would. After you describe how she can still find his blood among the grasses east of the stone cairn, she scoffs. That's what happens when a wolf leaves its pack. She turns away and continues her stroll. The sound of her heels and mail ruffles the nearby rooks. What else would you want me to do? Spy on White Marshes! I can't work for this person. She gestures for you to sit down on a bench, and though its age makes it look more like a rotten log, with hands on her side, she looks across the hamlet. This will be easier for you, though it will take you into a fetid place. Those cowards from White Marshes won't let us in, not that I blame them, but they may welcome you if you have any charm at all. Staring into your eyes, she speaks slowly, as if she's giving orders to a child. Get there, through the bogs spread by the western road, and look around. Count the awoken, or see which side of the village is poorly guarded, what weapons they have, what they're made of. She sits down next to you, and her arm burdens your shoulders. She pulls you closer to her, and you lean down. The delightful scent of myrtle doesn't make you any more comfortable. I don't care about your trade. I need you as a spy, Strider. Someone who can shut their lips when they speak to my enemies. She springs up, her mail jangling. I'll have a small pouch ready for your return, or 2 healing potions, always useful. She sizes you up. To a traveller. Any advice on how I can get to the locals' good side? She rests her hands on her knees, looking ahead in silence. Right, they're our tribe, with hardship and hungry years behind them. They will listen only to the strong and the gritty, unless... She once again hesitates and carries on as if she's surprised to hear her own voice. Not all of them agree with their necromancer Orentius. Their warlock Thyrsis lives in a peat field, divided with his people, with a soul as firm as a shield. No threat nor begging will move him an inch. Yeah, I mean, I'm already befriending Thyrsis, so that's another thing, and I'm feeding the people as well. Belle says, I'm wondering what we do about the bandits, and I don't know, so this is me considering ideas. I never managed to deal properly with Glaucia. Their arrows are from Gale Rocks, and she knows Cassia from there. Perhaps we need to talk to Gale Rocks about not giving Glaucia stuff. Yeah. I'm going to say I'll get it done, and I am not going to get it done. You walk forward, listening to Glaucia's heavy boots and jangling mail. I should go. What time is it? I think I can get out. You get back to Shadowfax. The highwaymen stay close to you, not allowing you to approach your blade. I asked someone for a spot where I could spend... Oh, the pond! Let me wash! A man with a bare chest gets in your way. And where do you think you're going? We need no spy eyes around here, and we aren't going to keep your ugly mug safe from monsters. Buy yourself a tub and an inn. Could I spend the night? The woman you ask gives you a puzzled look. There's a tavern on the northern road and a few villages in the west. You try to explain what you mean, and a man without an ear laughs, then speaks with a different accent. Nay a chance. Nay warden cuts my throat this night, nor on any other. Alright, I travel back to the cairn. Thanks for your time, everyone. Let's get out of here. Gale Rocks would not speak to me about the bandits previously, but I do have +1 appearance now, because I've achieved my goals of being helpful. The nearby shrubs are shaking. You hear the sounds of a flight. After you get closer, the battling creatures run deeper into the woods. There was a reason I was looking in the meadow, but I think I need to get to shelter. I ride to a different part of the forest. I think I want to get east. I can sleep with Glaucia, the painted boulder. Jabal says east as well. Yeah. Shadowfax trots forward, keeping its eyes on the pond, when one of the logs breaks under the hooves. You let go of the reins and land on the rotten wood, while your palfrey squeals in either pain or surprise. Falling on its side, it panically tries to get up. A broken leg, the fear whispers in your ear. It will never heal itself, and you're not going to find a mage in the middle of nowhere. Especially not a horse healer. My horse's leg is broken! Shadowfax! Fluffle sends her apologies, says Nine, for not being able to join us today and wanted me to remind you about the fish. Fluffle, thank you! Okay. I crawl away, then get back on my feet. You sigh with relief. Shadowfax walks in place, afraid and angry, but of healthy shell. Oh, Shadowfax! Some of your belongings are spread around, but they're alright too. The beast violently swishes its tail as if to murder any fly on its way. It stamps with a hind leg. The sound of the crushed wood echoes through the water. It tosses its head, looks around, then snorts. Its ears are pinned back. I give it time to look around. You step away, but Shadowfax is close to a panic attack. You move your hands, hoping to draw its attention. It's okay, we can sort this out. I'm going to calm it with my voice. Relax, Shadowfax, everything's fine. It shakes its head and takes a step toward you. I'll pet its head. You reach out to it with an open hand, but it tosses its head away. At least it didn't bite you. Oh. I let it smell my flask. I move slowly and show it my hands. That will help. It spares you a glance, then another one, and then observes your movements. As you freeze with your hands raised, Shadowfax makes a slight turn, trusting you won't attack it as it seeks threats behind it. Its ears are still pointing backwards, but are no longer pinned back. It's listening. I'm going to let it smell my flask. You swing it in the air, but Shadowfax tosses it. Swing it! Paying no attention to the scent. Okay. You lower your head. It keeps looking around, too afraid to pay you any attention. You consider grabbing the reins and forcing your palfrey to obey you, but it could ruin its trust completely. I'm not going to ruin its trust. Look, now is it time to give it time to look around? No? I stay calm. You exaggerate each breath, straighten up and put on a gentle smile. Shadowfax fixes its eyes on you and makes a final snort, still ready to run away if you turn out to be a monster in disguise. I pet its head. No. I let it... No. Look up... No. This is annoying. This is an annoying sequence. You gesture for it to follow the movement of your hand, encouraging it with a warm voice. After you step closer, it flinches and doesn't move away. I pet its head. You reach... Yeah, you had to do it in the right order. That's just irritating. It's just annoying. It doesn't mean anything. You reach out to it with an open hand. It stands still, allowing you to touch it above the nostrils, then step closer. You rub its skin, still speaking to it. I let it smell my flask. You open the flask and move it near the horse's nose. Shadowfax takes a few deep breaths. You've used hundreds of flowers to fill this little vessel, but it was worth the effort. The mount shakes its head and nickers. I give it time to look around. Calmly says, I do wish they'd stop calling Shadowfax it. I think it's because they, because of the relationship people have with animals in this world. I agree. You step away, allowing Shadowfax to get familiar with its surroundings. It then lowers its head, observing the hole that trapped its hoof. The heavy animal has made a hole, pressing the sodden wood in without really breaking the log. After a few minutes, your palfrey seems to be more curious than afraid. Speaking some nonsense, I get back in the saddle. Shadowfax keeps its head low, its ears are slightly pricked forward, the tail is loose. It flinches after you grab the saddle, so you give it time to take a deep breath. Soon you're ready for the further journey. You pat your palfrey's neck. We ride forward. Alright, well we got through. You leave the dark woods behind. On top of a nearby hill, you spot a four-legged dragon chewing on the tree leaves. It completely ignores you, and as you observe its long neck, as thick as a trunk, you can't imagine a blade that could wound it. I was trying to travel east. Why would it let me seek shelter? The abandoned watchtower. Thank you. That's where I want to go. The watchtower is blending with the wilderness slowly. You're surrounded by the thunderous humming of trees. The blue and black birds are carrying small sticks, leaves, and grass in their beaks and move these spoils to the roof. Where am I? How am I with fish? I have some roasted fish. Which I can eat. Hang on. Eat. That's good. I guess I'll just sleep here. I could go to Eudocia's. I have time. Maybe I will. Yeah, I'm traveling to Eudocia's. You touch the cold shell. The monster's eyes glow red. Strider, come inside. I wouldn't mind a bit of company. The golems let you in. I go straight to the house. Eudocia's leaning against the fur that hangs from the wall and stares at a hot liquid in a wooden bowl in her hands. Alright, I'm gonna sleep. I desperately need to wash. Oh my gosh. You let Shadowfax drink outside, then close both of you in the shed. There isn't much fodder around. The dragons from the mountains wake you up with their roars, but the heavy steps of the sentinels ease your soul. The yard is carefully patrolled. Some of the hay gets under your clothes, but at least your back doesn't ache in the morning. You let your palfrey outside. Alright, we need to travel today. For now, I'm going to travel up to Foggy's to get some food and get washed on the way. And then we're going to have a think about what we're doing today. The brook carries down leaves and branches from the hills, sending them into the lake. The statue stands in all its glory, observing you from the road and those who use it. I'm going to wash. I wash my shell carefully. 3 out of 5. I can do better. Can I wash myself again? No. Did my fish trap have any luck? That's as good as I can do today. That's a shame. We're gonna go eat at Foggy's. I enter. I'd like to eat. And I'd like to eat. Got 2 meals left. Ooh! Ah! I'm sorry. I nearly pulled my headset out. So the question is today, what are we gonna do? We have a little save. Let's have a look at my journal. We have lots to do. We haven't completed the missing hunters yet. We haven't found Dahlia. We've learned a bit more about Recruiter Hunter, but not everything yet. We still can't get in to see Orentius. Helvius will decide if I'm trustworthy. I don't know how to get in to see Orentius yet. Oh. There's also the case that we need to find out what's going on at Howler's Dell for the Ruined Village plot, because they did some terrible, terrible things there, or Thias did at least. So we could go there and find out more. What do you think we should do? We could travel to Pelt of the North, we could warn the bandit, and we could report back to Dalit about the young hunters, although we don't have all the information yet. We could go to Howler's Dell. Well, we haven't picked any orange tulips for Eudocia. I knew there was a reason I should go to the meadow. We could go to the meadow and pick flowers for Eudocia, which I would love to do. We're nowhere near gathering a crew. This game is so long. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to do, really. I'm not going to spy on White Marshes. I'm not going to get the support of the monks. They're terrible. I'm not helping Glaucia. So really, there's quite a limited amount of stuff left for us to do. Yeah. Yeah, what do you think? What would you like to see today? Do a big save. Nine says, I guess it'll be time to go back to Hovloven soon. I mean, I don't think... I think going back to Hovloven ends the game, and I think I have no time limit. So I can just keep going. Jabal says, I think we should go to Gale Rocks again and see if we can weaken Glaucia via that route. Yeah, okay. Nine says, yes, I'm going to keep calling it Hovlava. That's okay. Hovlova. Well, let's head up to Gale Rocks then today, and then after that, we'll see where we go. Maybe we can find out a little bit more about Cassia up there as well. Gale Rocks. The smoke above the village is as dense as it gets. The locals are taking care of the most tiresome tasks before the return of the fishers. The adults are either outside, carrying timber and food, or in their workshops, the largest of which are open air. The sounds of work muffle the conversations, so you mostly hear the shouts of overseers. The elders also do their part, helping with cooking and chores, while children either make as much noise as they can or pay attention to their trade lessons. Most of the locals greet you warmly, often addressing you by your name. You go to... Gosh. I feel like I need to talk to someone about... I'm looking to find out about Cassia. And I don't know who I would talk to. Let's talk to the gatekeeper. Nope, that's not the conversation I want to be having. I could go to the bathman. Oh, hello. Any thoughts on Cassia? You find him when he's collecting empty buckets around the village, ready to carry them to his regular spot at the bridge. What is it, outsider? Got dirty? Any thoughts on Cassia? He raises an eyebrow, then looks around, making sure nobody approaches his shed. There ain't much to say. All them guards are trouble from time to time, but she's lucky to still have the job. No one would take her anyway. She goes for days without washing her togs and keeps arguing left and right. The best she's for is distracting beasts, you get it. I am a little bit stinky. Can you give me a bath and I be clean? I don't need a bath? I do need a bath! I'm 1 appearance down! Oh. Nine says going back south definitely ends the game, but I think it'd be nice to see the epilogues of some of the places you've helped. I mean, I will when I'm done helping. I definitely will love to see what happens. Alright, I step away. Fulvia, do you know about Cassia? The keeper doesn't acknowledge your arrival until you call her. After she leaves the dark tunnel, she says nothing, waiting patiently. Do you know who Cassia is? She needs a moment to think. Rufina's sister, eh? Last I spoke with her, she was but a small lass. Okay. Navica? I don't need any of that. Rufina. Once you enter the dark cave room, Rufina welcomes you with a nod. Is everything fine? I'm trying to learn more about Cassia, the guard. She puts away her tools, leans away, and meets your eyes. You try to hire her for something, all right? She's difficult. Taught herself lies, said with a strong voice and confident chest can take one far. But that ain't a good path in a tribe. Like all souls, she has good sides and bad sides, but is too afraid to admit the latter. You chatter for a few more minutes. While the tailor's words are harsh, she can't hide the sadness of her voice. Thanks. The head woman. You ascend the hill. The guard stands up and puts his woodwork on his pillow, then asks you to wait. You hear his and the head woman's voice coming from the hall, and once the man returns, he nods gently. You're asked to enter. I follow him inside. Severina puts away her writing instruments and sighs, but doesn't say anything. Her violet eyes are absent. What are your thoughts on Cassia? The thought I'm bearing right now is that I'd rather not spread rumours about those I look after. Her annoyed eyes contradict her calm voice. Can't you bother the elders with such questions? Or speak with Petronius the gossip? Petronius the gossip! He'll be happy to share with you all the dirty laundry he touched. Maybe I will. Can I do some work for you? Ooh, a new job, because I'm so likable now. She runs her eyes over you, then glances at the guard in front of her. There's something that may be an easy task for a traveller, chiefly one that doesn't talk too much. She reaches for one of her tablets, then nods with approval. Right. I want you to look around, not ask around. There's a group of spice and tools merchants that was meant to reach our village some time ago, yet they fell silent, most likely taken to the fogs by some beasts. Oh, they weren't! Keep your eyes open. Maybe you'll find their shells, or even better, wares. Once you learn what happened, I'll pay you. She starts to hum to herself, looking into a pouch on the desk. 5 coins. Just don't speak with any other tribe about it. She stares at you harshly. We must keep this between ourselves. And if the merchants turn out to be nowhere to be found, I'll pay you as well. They were robbed by Glaucia. Yeah, I've worked this out. Her gaze is grim, but after a simple, I see, she reaches for a pouch, then puts 5 dragon bones in a single row and pushes them forward. Thank you for your assistance. You don't sound surprised. She looks at her granddaughter, who, without even noticing, has lowered her crossbow. I asked Glaucia about this very thing. I did, Severina admits. I don't think you're mistaken, Roadwarden. It's a natural step on her path. But it means she's lied to our people, and I won't be able to avoid the confrontation. Still, I'm grateful to learn it. I nod and take the coins. Yes! You've learned! You no longer have... I've hurt the relationship between them with honesty! We did it, Jubal! My patience runs short, outsider. Severina gestures for you to pause. Are you sure other matters can't wait till tomorrow? Yeah, that's fine. Goodbye. That went great. I'm looking for Petronius the gossip. Hee. Ooh, this is great. 9 says, have I mentioned that I love your performance as Severina? I don't know if you have, but it's making me happy. Thank you. Sorry, that was a little bit goofy of me, but I was feeling goofy. You realise there's been someone following you around, or at least accidentally showing up wherever you go. Bored with walking around? He spares you a smirk. He's a short man dressed in a worn grey-black woolen robe, with a belt as wide as your hand and a buckle decorated with a large shell, now placed annoyingly just 2 inches away from the centre of his stomach. He may be only 30, but it's clear why he has no tasks to bother with. His fingers are paralysed at unnatural angles, spread like an osier tree's branches. While he's capable of moving around both of his arms slightly, they are constantly bent at both the elbows and at the wrists. He's wearing no boots. Oh no. I've got a few questions. I know. He nods for you to follow him and leads you to the orchard, where you stay in the shadow of a cherry tree. Right. He looks around, scowling at the nearby kid, who instantly turns around and gets out of your sight. Name's Petronius. I can be your guide. His soft voice is close to a whisper. Oh, really? 1 coin, 1 question. He looks at the small leather sack hanging from his neck. No backsies. You decide my answers ain't worth it, you stop asking. Oh, I pay you. Okay, I'll pay you. You obviously need work. Ooh. Is Cassia trustworthy? The opposite. He straightens up. Can't stop lying, can't stop arguing, and used to drink until she fell on the ground, until she was banned by the headwoman, once she fell into the stream, almost drowned. He glances east. Something's wrong with her. Ooh. Yeah, this does make sense. Jabal says the Glaucia quest didn't update, so we probably need to chat with Severina again. Okay, yeah, we'll go back. I was told something about an old lumberjack hamlet. He tells you to put away the dragon. Can't help you with this one.
I know there used to be such a place, but I never left my home. Better ask a lumberjack or someone who knows the peninsula well if there are such people left.
Fulvia isn't just any elder, am I right?
You are. She spent most of her young days and even some of the nights on the roads, chiefly on the paths leading through the heart of the woods. She never got wounded, yet with years her eyes gave up. The right laughs when we feel safe.
Do the locals struggle with bandits?
He crosses his forearms, blocking the pouch hanging on his neck. Can't talk about this. Made a promise, you know. Yeah, they never talk about it. Okay, we'll talk later.
Should we go back to Severina? I'm gonna go back.
No, I can't visit today. You ascend the hill, the guard stands up and puts his woodwork on his pillow, but then closes the door and stands in your way. Severina is tired from your questions and problems, Roadwarden. You're asked to visit her another day. I leave the hill. Oh.
But I feel like we've made progress.
Oh, why don't you tell me about the last service I can't find here?
Something's changed. He seems to be nowhere in sight, and once you find him, his usual confidence is gone. As he leads you away from the others, he stares at the ground, and some of his neighbours scowl at you.
There's a rumour that I'm spying for an outsider.
An awkward pause.
Better get back to your beast, or a smelly name will drop on both of us, it will.
Oh, I don't want to get him in trouble.
Fix your clothes? My clothes are fine as far as I know. Oh, my clothes are torn! Oh, never mind. Alright. Thank you.
Inventory?
Patched. 4 out of 5 appearance? Yes! Okay. What if I tried now? No. Okay, I still can't. I'm going back to Fulvia.
I heard that you used to be quite a traveller. Have you seen anything interesting on the road leading through the heart of the woods?
Who's been saying such silly things about me?
Hearing your answer, she chuckles.
When I was merely a young lass, that road was still wild, barring the wall and the watchtower.
She shares a few memories with you, but often mentions how the roads changed with every season, with keepers, such as her, being more like pathfinders than guides. For a few minutes, her stories get a bit dark, yet are brought up with a warm smile. Trying to memorise her meandering takes you off on a bit of an effort.
And every time we reach the tall woods, not the dark ones, in the east, but the tall ones in the west, right?
She vaguely describes a path leading south to an old orchard.
Old orchard! There were so many fruits and nuts and berries and... She sighs. Beasts! So we were picking whatever we could find, but chiefly the hazelnuts, best in the north and with no worms in them. But stay merely a bit too long, right? And the monsters get to you, from all sides. But without travellers, it must have already overgrown. Such a pity.
The conversation goes on for a few more minutes, but you don't expect much of it will be of use to you.
Ooh. Interesting.
Interesting. Nine says your Fulvia is good too. I'm just loving the voiceover today. You're very lovely. Thank you. We have some time. I'm gonna ask the fisher folk about Cassia while I'm here. There are fresh pieces of driftwood and the remains of little animals sinking into the sand. There are no boats, nets, or fishes in sight, but there are countless boot prints and footprints in sight, both on the road and next to it. They approach the pier. You're next to the shed. The fishers are in the middle of their work. Most of them are either away from the coast, casting their nets from the boats, or just walk around with heavy clothes, but revealed legs, using their fancily shaped spears to catch either a fish or a bird sitting at one of the rocks. There's also a few people on the land, resting, eating, and keeping an eye on the equipment. I head to the fishers. Photius inspects the equipment and discusses future plans with the workers on the coast. How's Phoebe doing? Absolutely!
She's the same as she was yesterday and the day before that. He avoids your eyes. Don't ask me any more, outsider. I don't want to think about the time she's going to ask me why she's broken. She's not broken.
Oh, calmly, thank you.
Is Cassia working with you often? His eyes narrow. I used to, now I don't. There were a few times she told me she was asked to guard the gate, but then it turned out she told the guards back home that I asked her for help. She was merely idling about like a child. The fishes don't need someone like this around here. I really haven't, learned anything. My journal hasn't updated, but... Alright, well, let's just go to Foggy Lake for now, I guess. LJ, hello! LJ says, V, it's always a pleasure to listen to. LJ turns up and just says nice things. Thank you, LJ. The screeching birds are sitting on the logs of the palisade. Some of them observe you, but the group doesn't cease its squabbling. The tavern's windows and doors are open, and a bunch of furs are spread over the fence. We're fighting bugs, says a shorter man when he sees your look. Alright, what time is it? 3 hours. Can I do any alchemy? Can I do the withering dust? No. I've only got a few hours. Let me step away. I go outside. I do have time to go and have a look at the foraging ground, which I will do. LJ says, I've been lurking for a little while as background while writing. Oh, I had no idea! Some little furry critters flee away from you through the short grass. Nothing here is as loud as your palfrey's hooves. You don't spot any larger predator. Okay, well, it's time to seek shelter, so I'll just go back and sleep. Sleep! I'm going to eat. I need to go wash. The question is, do we go back to the head woman and see if we can get a little bit more, do a little bit more work on the bandits and Gale Rocks, or do we head to Howler's Dell and start making them face up to the truth of what they did to Steep House? Rowan says, I didn't realize that I was lurking while drawing, but now that you mention it, I haven't said anything in like an hour. That's fine. I'm quite happy for people to lurk. As long as I've got someone to talk to, I'm okay. Fish? Oh, we got 2 fish! You pull the rope and see 2 flopping fish inside. You prepare your axe and open the lid and reach for your catch. You stun the animals one by one with 2 careful blows on the top of their heads, then finish them off with a knife, cutting underneath the gill plates. You spend another minute or 2 bleeding out the fish in the brook, then cover them with a waxed linen sheet. You should eat them soon before they spoil. I'm going to set my fish trap. I'm going to wash myself in the stream with all of my many washing stuffs. Alright, everyone's going to be really nice to me because I have 5 out of a possible 5 vitality. I feel amazing and it affects my appearance, and I have 4 out of 5 appearance. So I'm doing pretty well. Dave says, hard same. I've been designing away too. Alco says, I often do not have anything to say. Everyone's just here listening. It's just me, Nine, and Jabal, and Calmly, just chatting. Everyone else is just quiet. I'm completely fine with that. I'm glad you're having a nice time. LJ says, listening to V makes everyone productive. I'm like the opposite of streamers you fall asleep to. Al says, you have a nice voice, so listening is nice. Thank you, Alquill. LJ says, chatting is fun and productive too. I think so. I love chatting. I do so little of it in the day. The stream is really good. I get to have so much company. Yeah, what do you think? Anyone who wants to weigh in? Do we go back to Gale Rocks and see if we can get a little bit more out of Severina? Or do we head to Howler's Dell? Also, what the heck do I do with this hecking rock slide? I need to do something with it. Try the Green Mountain. Oh, there's so much. My map is so full now. It's kind of wild. Yeah, we could go to Howler's Dell and make them face up for the evil atrocities, or we can try and continue to pursue this whole bandit angle. Rowan says one of the things I like about Roadwarden is that I can just listen to Vio narrate and I don't really need to look to follow the story. See, this is why it's surprising that Aureus didn't think that this game would be streamed much, because I think that's really pleasant, being able to have a stream on and do something else. Jabal says, I think maybe briefly Gale Rocks. Then we can still get to Howlers by nightfall. You know what? I love it. Let's do it. Oh, I bet Severina's gonna be like, get lost! Life is slowing down, and as you look around, many of the villagers are gathered at the western bank, preparing for a meal or a prayer. Only the youngest workers remain at their posts, maintaining the most crucial tasks, such as adding fuel to the flames. The guards are spread outside the gates, watching the area carefully. Most of the locals greet you warmly, often addressing you by your name. You go to Severina. You ascend the hill. The guard stands up and puts his woodwork on his pillow, then asks you to wait. You hear his and the headwoman's voices coming from the hall, and once the man returns, he nods gently. You're asked to enter. I follow him inside. I only have the option to ask about High Island, so I guess I'll do that. Severina puts away her riding instruments and looks at you keenly. What's the matter? I'm trying to learn more about High Island. Then you should ask someone interested in old tales. We forbid our fishers to swim near it, and our neighbours ain't challenging us on this. She reaches for one of the tablets and notes something quickly, and as she carries on, she sounds disinterested, more than frustrated. The volcano there erupts rarely and merely hits us with the tides. We have nothing to gain from those woods but claws and thorns, and even getting to the land is a dangerous task. Thanks. Alright, goodbye. Oh, never mind. Okay, I'm looking for bandits. Whenever you ask any of the locals about the bandits, they tell you they have no time for gossip and walk away, giving you angry looks. I look for Glaucia. She's not here. Ain't been in many months, says an animal keeper. Right? If you want to speak with her, find her on your own. You ask in a few other places as well, and while everyone seems to confirm these words, you notice that you don't have to explain who she is even once. Jabal says, I wonder if we need to talk to the armourer about not sending stuff to Glaucia, or a Fletcher if they have one. We could try. The armourer. No. Fletcher. A short man with absent eyes is leaning against the fence, spending his break observing the people gathered at the stalls. He's wearing a torn shirt patched together from wool in 2 shades of blue, and has his long hair in a ponytail. When you get closer, he spares you a warm smile. Cheers, stranger. Are you looking for me? That depends, you respond, and he tilts his head away, observing the sky. Right. I'm Florus. I make arrows. But I don't really sell them to outsiders. It's just our thing, it is. As his elbows rest on the wooden planks, his hands dangle loosely, and you notice that they are very clean and well kept, unusually so for an artisan. That's fine, I don't use a bow. This is the person who sold the arrows that were used on the merchants! Then no hard feelings. He titters, raises his hands to his head, stretches his back with a yawn, and gets to his stall-like spot, with a workbench covered with wooden staves, knives, sand, flint, quartz, and even obsidian. There are also oddly shaped tools that you can't really name. The man sits down on a chair. You need something from me? Before you respond, you notice the already finished arrows sticking out from a tall basket. They are divided into handspan-sized bunches, each of which has a fletching in different colours and sizes. You step closer, noticing that they also have varied thicknesses, lengths, and use different materials. Hey, is Cassia a decent archer? He shakes his head, makes sure he heard you right, and snorts. Ha! Why, rightly not. She's lucky to have muscles that can handle a club. She ain't getting anything as precise as this. He wags an arrow at you. Why do your arrows have so many colours? He turns toward the basket and looks at the arrows as if he's just noticed them. Different needs, different arrows, he simply states, resting a hand on his knee. As our forebears learned after using many spells and tools to find the best combinations, as these barren hills allow for, with a nod, he draws your attention to the far east, with its sparse green and harsh rock faces. The grey-feathered ones are for harpies, the blue and yellow for critters you want to skin for their furs. You mentioned that there are arrows that have partially orange fletching, yet somewhat differ from each other. Right, orange is for shells that walk on 2 legs. If they are also green, they're for goblins. Black are for humans, silver for beast folk. We don't shoot at trolls, no point. He shrugs. You think about the arrow you carry in your bundles, orange and black. Orange and black. Black for humans, yeah. After you ask if the different types truly make a difference, he clicks his tongue. Maybe? I was taught that spells make it so, but I'm no enchanter. Doesn't hurt to be prepared. Tell me more about your work. Tell me the truth. Why can't I ask? Did you sell these to Glaucia? Ugh. He hums to himself for a bit, tilting his head left and right, looking at various tools and parts in front of him. There's a lot to say, stranger, and I won't look for a successor anytime soon. After you suggest that he can be as brief as he would like to be, he shrugs. Then I don't know. I grab this. He reaches for a stave. Round it with this. He points at some sort of tool, then at the sand. Then cut the feathers, press them into a knock. That's this groove here. He lets you take a closer look and carries on. Then I make a proper head all by myself. You tie everything, and there it is. An arrow. Seeing your confusion, he simply clears his throat and gets back to work. Wouldn't it be easier for you to just make the shafts for a day, then the heads on another one? With a good rhythm, you would make more arrows in less time. He speaks slowly, just discovering this idea together with you. More arrows, right. But doing the same thing over and over for hours? He leans away with reluctance growing in his eyes by the second. That would be even more boring. I'd rather die, he says with an exaggerated sigh. We don't need to sell arrows just to have enough of them. After you mention that this is the method that would be used in the city, he gives you a sorrowful glance. Nightmarish. Agreed. I hate repetitive work. There's more wares? Petronius, will you speak to me? No. I think that's all we're getting here today. Dave says, sorry you cut out. You hate what? Repetitive work! Alright. 5.5 hours. Yeah, let's go. We're going to go to Hallisdale. Let's make them talk about what they did! Okay. You approach the opening gate, then swiftly dismount. A guard approaches you, ready to take your mount to a stable. Good to see you! How are your journeys? We gossip for a bit. Well, they're friendly toward me, even if Thias hates me. The curious locals gather round to take part in your conversation. Recently, a baker fell asleep while making pies, wasting meat and flour. I enter the village. You're wandering through the village. A young man is hanging laundry, humming a melody you've never heard before. 2 guards are having a duel with blunt spears in the yard. I need to decide what to do with what I've learned about Steep House. Yes, it's time. Okay. For the reminder, there was a village. Once a village, now cursed and filled with bandits. The people of Hallisdale, Thias roused them to attack Steep House. Seemingly just for greed. You're standing in the middle of the islet, taking a good look at the village. The locals follow their daily routines. Children are playing tag. The trees are turning gold and brown. You listen to the humming creek and a singing old woman. Yet you can see what's beneath all that. A home to raiders who led dozens of humans to their death. If you decide to act, you'll have only one shot at this. Starting a storm without the firm support of the locals will paint you as a threat. If Thias was able to keep her power despite her deeds, she surely has strong support, and she may not yield to you even if openly confronted. I don't know of anyone who could help me take the mayor down. I could offer Thias an alliance in exchange for my silence. I would never. I already did my part. I'm going to report everything to the city officials and let them decide if they should get involved. No. I'm not ready to choose. Nothing could become... No. I'm not ready to choose. I need to find more... How do I find people who will help me? The druids. When will the druids see me? How do I get the druids to see me? Beon. Oh, you'll buy my spider silk? I've gathered quite a bit of spider silk. Would you like to buy it? You show her the wrapped stick and, without asking, she takes one of the shorter threads and starts to stretch it. She nods. I do. What do you want? The dragon rings or a better jacket? You ask her for the details, and she loses more of her patience with every breath. 10 rings for the thread. Or give me 2 hours now, and I'll put some of it here. She vaguely points at bits of your gambeson. To make it stronger and easier to wear. Oh! 4 out of 4 protection? Where am I with... I feel like I don't have... I'm gonna need loads of money to get people to help us to go to the island. But I can get that via working, right? I think I should strengthen my armor. What do you think? Gambeson up, says Jabal. Let's do it. You spend the time brushing and watering Shadowfax, practicing combat moves and stances with your axe, and washing your hands, face, and neck. Near the end of the hour, you return to the tailor and sit down on a stump, relaxing to the sounds of Howler's Creek. She asks you to come closer and points at the spots where the seams were ripped and replaced with spider silk, which is much lighter than the old thread. It will nay get stronger than this unless you cover it with a troll hide or something. Thank you. You know Erastus, right? She doesn't stop her work. Better than I know you, but I guess you deserve a brief answer. You're a good client. She looks at your forehead. He'd be better at carving toys, not box traps. She looks away. Okay. I need to find someone to help me. 9 also agreed about the gambeson. Yeah, I think that was probably the right option. Go to the main square. Akakios, would you help me? When Akakios notices your arrival, he tells the other villagers to give you some time in private. Buying or selling? Did you have any issues with Erastus? He wags his long finger. What do you mean? He broke something again? And what now? He wants me to pay you back? Tell him to fix it on his own, or grab him and drag him here. You wait for a few moments, not sure if you should ask how many times such a thing happened before. His breath is heavy. How do you choose between these two potential hunters? They both seem terrible. I'm looking for flowers that look like orange tulips with much larger leaves. Do you grow anything like that? I'll ask at Beon's. Her wife had some of those. After a few minutes, he brings you a clay pot with a plant not larger than your hand. It has a single flower and a couple of healthy leaves. Back in spring, Asterion asked us to grow them. Oh no! But he's no longer around, and that little stinker. Either their presence annoys me now. 3 dragons and I'll give you what's above the ground. Maybe it will grow again. You ask him what he knows about it. He picks it up to look at it closely as if it's his first time seeing it. Well, the forest speaker from the southern cave told me 'tis a herb for potions. Snake bait, he said. I think it lures serpents. I'm near sure. But 'tis pleasant in taste, I think. I'll take it. Asterion was having these grown for Eudocia. I'm so sad. I hope we can bring him back to her. I really do. I walk away. Eric's. Eric's approaches the counter, welcoming you with a wide smile. I caught some nice fish. Would you like to barter for a food ration? He raises a fish to sniff it and holds his beard back, keeping it clean. No many fish in our creek. I'll put them in a soup or bake them for a sauce. How many do you have? I'll give you a healthy meal for each one. Take 2, sure. He takes your fish inside, making quite a bit of noise once there. When he returns, he's holding 2 small packages wrapped in waxed cloth, which should be somewhat waterproof. Thanks. Alright, I think I might sleep here and then travel to the forest speaker and see if the forest speaker has any ideas. I need to get help to deal with these hecking terrible people, to deal with Thias. I'm not just gonna let this fade into the past. We're gonna do something about this. Dave says not to toot my own horn, but I've made something durable. Oh, that's great! 9 says it'd be nice to bring Asterion back, but I have the distinct feeling that if he was in any condition to go anywhere, he wouldn't have been away this long. You'll find his bones, if anything. I mean, obviously the game is kind of heavily suggesting that that's the case. But maybe he's just stuck. We'll find out. You've made something adorable? What is it? What is it? I'm excited about the adorable thing. Alright, I guess we're gonna... Unless I can... What time is it? I can make it to the Elder tonight. Yeah. This might be where we end today. A flock of colourful birds is circling in the sky. The druid is sitting on the shore, keeping his legs in the water and observing the spring. His gaze is a bit absent, and he notices you only after you tap his shoulder. What do you need, traveller? I show him the snake bait. What can you tell me about this? He needs only a breath to recognise it. Ah, 'tis snake bait. He leans a bit closer. 'Tis nae that rare, and nae many people need it. You learn that it's infamous for its alleged power to lure serpents and saurians. When consumed in moderation, it makes a shell more responsive to stimuli, and makes periods of sleeplessness easier to bear. Juice from a single leaf is enough to induce hallucinations, or an addicting sense of dreamlike euphoria. Using a large dose at once, or small doses too often, leads to frailty or death. I'd like to enter the cavern. So be it. Let me open the door for you. I follow him to the entrance, and I sleep. And I think that's probably gonna be it today. I don't know what to do right now. But I'm sure that that big things are on the horizon in Roadwarden. And that's exciting. Let's see. Dave says t-shirt design, so I don't want to promote in chat, but it's a group of cute little monsters playing peoples and houses. Oh, you'd be allowed to promote it in chat. I don't know if you can post links, because I haven't given you VIP. But if you can post the link, go ahead. That sounds lovely. Jabal says, I'm very much saying nothing regarding the fate of Asterion. I'm occasionally making squeaky noises that you can't hear at bits of these streams to vent bits I have feelings about, but don't want to spoil. Yeah, very, very understandable. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for being here. This has been really, really good. I'm very excited to return to it. On Friday, I am back with more Outer Wilds, which I am also extremely excited to return to. And of course, on Sunday, I'll be continuing my live audiobook reading. Yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of the week. And, just thank you. Goodbye, everyone.